Our trip begins just a few miles south of Hawthorne, Nevada. We're heading south on 359. We take a right on Forest Route 109. This is also known as Allum Creek Canyon Trail. The trail is fairly tame, but there are a few washouts where, if there was water, it could become quite challenging. The trail dead ends at the end of Allum Canyon. Here, amongst large ponderosa and Jeffrey pine trees, there is an old, abandoned United States Forest Service campground. It's a weekday. There's snow on the ground, and we are totally alone. In the morning, we depart to head further south, but not before having a close encounter with a hawk.
Ooh, look at that.
Whoa! Yeah!
That's cool.
The road from Hawthorne to Beatty is filled with a vast expanse of beautiful western Nevada. The sun is nearly fully set when we pull off of 374 towards Rhyolite Ghost Town.
Oh. No. Aw.
We decide to check out Rhyolite Ghost Town tomorrow morning as it is getting dark and we'd like to try to find a place to camp. We venture out into the desert west of Rhyolite. We find a nice place to camp on the north edge of Box Canyon.
Rhyolite.
The town of Rhyolite was founded in 1905. By 1906, the booming mining town had grown to 6,000 residents. They had a school, a post office, 2 banks, a modern hotel, 2 churches, 50 saloons, and a stock exchange. But by 1907, with the panic of a falling stock market, the town virtually disappeared. Adjacent to Rhyolite Ghost Town is the Goldwell Open Air Museum. This is home to a number of outdoor sculptures, namely the eerie sculpture entitled The Last Supper, erected in 1984 by a Belgian artist named Albert Sokalski. Preparing to drive on miles of dirt road, I air down my tires to 30 psi. This will increase traction, but more importantly, make the washboard roads more tolerable. This is Titus Canyon Road. It's a 25-mile-long, one-way dirt road that can only be traveled from Beatty west into Death Valley. The trail meanders uphill into the Amargosa Range, eventually coming over the 5,300-foot Red Pass. At the bottom of Red Pass, there is the old mining town Leadfield. It was built in 1926, but was founded on false claims and was soon abandoned. As the road winds downhill, petroglyphs can be seen about a mile past Leadfield. As we continue, we begin to enter Titus Canyon. We leave Titus Canyon Road behind and head north on North Death Valley Highway. Though we've been to Death Valley almost half a dozen times, its grandeur never ceases to amaze us.
Okay.
As the road turns to dirt, I'm again thankful I aired down. Death Valley is notorious for its long washboard roads. We get to the camp at Eureka Dunes very late, and we are greeted by bats. The light of morning unveils an incredible scene. The Eureka Dunes in all their glory. The Eureka Dunes rise 680 feet above the Eureka Valley floor. They are the second highest sand dunes in North America. Here, at the top of the dunes, I meet fellow travelers Sean and Franny playing an epic game of dune frisbee.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
All right, Franny, you ready? You ready?
Holy crap!
I told you were too far. Whew. Now throw it back up.
As anyone who's been to Death Valley knows, there's a good chance of seeing fighter jets. At the valley floor, Amanda was simultaneously filming these jets as they passed within 100 yards over our camp. After the late morning air show, we head out to Saline Valley. As we cruise down Saline Valley Road, we pass Dixon, an old mining town. Saline Warm Springs is home to multiple hot spring tubs that were built here before it was annexed into Death Valley. It's the weekend and the Warm Springs are very busy. I chose not to film it because there was so much nudity. Be careful if you leave out your trash. There's wild burros that go around and will eat anything that tastes like food. Here, they're eating a paper plate.
Put your trash away.
After relaxing here for 2 days, we depart and head further south on Saline Valley Road. Towards the south end of Saline Valley Road, it ascends the Grapevine Canyon. Here you can see spectacular views of Panamint Valley. As we head east on Highway 190, we come across a wayward and fearless coyote.
What you doing?
At the floor of Panamint Valley, we turn south onto Highway 178. From here, we turn west onto Nadeau Road. This will take us into the Argus Range. The road is rocky and rough, but it is the way to an old mining site called Lookout City. Lookout City isn't much more than an old structure and a mine shaft, but it's up here where we must find a place to camp tonight.
Should we keep going up?
we finally find a place that's semi-level enough to make camp.
Nice.
In the morning, it is lightly raining, and mist is moving in over the mountains. We depart the Argus Range and air up the tires for highway driving. Our last night on the road brings us to Benton Hot Springs. It's a bed and breakfast inn, but most importantly, they have 14 campsites in the back. Here, each campsite has its own private hot tub, as well as its fair share of furry inhabitants. We nearly have the entire campground to ourselves. This certainly made for a luxurious ending to a week-long trip through Death Valley and beyond.